Alright, what's up guys? So I'm going to be showing you my Bow&Bow Stamina Dragonknight PvP build. So let's get right into it. We're running an Azalon Perfected Bow. I'm running Nern. Sharpen is actually better this batch, and it's actually better next batch. I need to switch that. We're running Double Dot Poison. That's mainly why Sharpen's better, because it boosts your Double Dot Poisons, and next batch it deals more damage than Nern. And then we don't have any healing ability on the front bar, so Sharpen is gonna do more damage than Nern, like regardless, unless you overpan. So yeah, Master's Bow, Infuse on the back bar. Usually I'm running Troll King, 2 well fitted, 1 heavy, all medium. Right now I'm running Impen. Next batch I'll just run well fitted all the way, like 7 out of 7 well fitted. This is man in tournament, so I don't really have any other good monster set for right now. You could maybe run Slime Craw, but yeah, I didn't have a good Slime Craw yesterday, so I ran Blitzbound. It's trash. You don't want to run Blitzbound nowadays. So get Slime Craw. It's probably the best for right now. Deadly. Why we're running that is because our abilities are. I mean, if you run Bow&Bow, your abilities are going to be shit regardless. I'm going to get into that later on. But the 20% more damage is actually pretty nice. It doesn't work with Snipe, which I'm disappointed. Because, Snipe, to be honest, people are like, that shit's broken in duel. Try Snipe somebody, face to face Snipe somebody. It's not as easy as it seems. You don't have any healing on this build. You don't have any burst heal, right? Snipe is the only ability in the game with a cast time that is bashable. It's a channel, let's call it like that. It's supposed to be written channel over here, since you can't in-cap as a cast time. You can't bash when somebody's charging his in-cap. Same for Downbreaker. Same for Dizzy Swing. Why is Dizzy? Dizzy is the same as Lethal Arrow. It's just the best version out of the two. Dizzy is gonna get a 20k tooltip. It's faster, and it has a stun, right? And it's unbashable. This one though, it's a cast time, but it's bashable and it doesn't get buffed by Deadly. If it was getting buffed by Deadly, because now it buffs channel, and this technically is a channel since it's bashable, it would be really strong. This build, to be honest, if they just put this shit as a channel, would be a viable build, but it isn't. So I don't get why. They just want you to try snipe somebody, get bashed and one shot by DB. I don't get it. But yeah. Then acid spray to proc your Zombo. Yeah. It's pretty much we're running deadly to boost ballista, acid spray, lethal. Lethal has a dot since it afflicts poison status, so you always have poison status. It gets buffed by 20%. If this gets buffed by it, I don't know if this gets buffed by it. Maybe, probably not. And then poison injury gets buffed by it, and then the double dot. So it makes you a little decent, I guess. And then tree agilities, I'll infuse weapon damage. Next batch on PTS, I tested. Definitely the best rate is just straight up fucking bloodthirsty. This shit, once you get under 50% health, there's just no coming back. Everybody, to be honest, I really honestly think next batch everybody's gonna run tree bloodthirsty in PvP. This gives you 100 more weapon damage per jewelry, so 300 in total. Yes, it's all at all time, but bloodthirsty at 70% health is doing that, right? When people get low, it goes up to 900 something extra weapon damage. It's bro, it is insane. People are not coming back. If you got a build like MacDK that doesn't really have it in execute, MacDK is broken because of bloodthirsty. Bro, that shit on DK. Cause fighting a DK, you're never gonna be 100% health. As soon as they fucking hit you with one dot, you're at 90% health. The bloodthirsty kicks in and just fucks you up. Bro, It is so strong, so 3 agility. Yeah, if you go upper wall, don't run deadly. When I go upper wall, I run heavy, and then I run, I don't know, ancient dragon guard for the tankiness, survivability. You really want that because this build doesn't have that much survivability, and heavy, it's fine if you kite properly because you run quite fast with this build. You want to run tri enchant, sorry, tri food, and then you want to run tripods. Uh, Pretty much cover everything when it comes to item. So now I'm gonna go into the abilities. Fossilize, good CC. Uh, Flame of Oblivion, damage, it gives you a crit on the front bar. Noxious Breath for the armor pen, and then we stack it with the armor pen from the Bow, which is like, what, like 6.6k pen, and then you get a 1k pen on the front bar from having that. Stack that with like Noxious Red, you get like 11, 12k pen. That's why this build is actually okay, because you got a lot of penetration. Snipe, it hits alright. I mean, it's not a dizzy swing with 18k tooltip, regardless of your setup, but we'll take it, you know. We take what we get, and then, yeah, acid spray, and then ballista. The best morph upper wall is shifting. I don't run ballista. Ballista is not that good now that they made it 5 seconds. Like, yeah, the tooltip seems pretty high, but that's because we're running deadly. The ability is not what it used to be. Like, if you remove 20% off of it, the tooltip doesn't seem that great. And then since it's now over 5 seconds instead of 4 seconds, it doesn't quite have the burst it used to. You know, basically, it lost from going from 4 seconds to 5 seconds. It lost 25% of this, like, of the DPS of the ability. It was like a 25% more nerf. So shifting's better, but if you run shifting and dual, people are gonna call you AIDS build. So like, do whatever. To be honest, ballista people don't like because you can cast it and hit abilities at the same time. But probably gonna start running Soul Assault because I mean, it has pretty much the same. It's just a weaker version of Ballista, and people like, look, 73k, and you can snipe while casting that. This is just 50k. Uh, yeah, people might not bitch as much. I don't fucking know. uh, yeah, I'll find an ultimate that people won't. Bro, I'll run Meteor if I need to. Like, it doesn't really matter. Like, if you're running Bow&Bow, it doesn't really matter what you play. Like, you're already not playing what's the best. So Temporal Guard, Poison Inject, Ardent Armor, or something like that. Resolving Vigor. You see, the totem's not that good. That's pretty much your only heal, and that's like I see people running like fucking bro. I don't get how people do that. People run Rally, run Cleanse, run Vigor, run Master Sword on board, right? Uh, and their Vigor tooltip is better than mine. Because they just run such a fucking carry setup that they just can't lose. Like, it's crazy. Like, if I fully buff, that's all the healing you get. Like, 22k over 4 seconds. That's it. That's all you get. That's all you really need, to be honest. If proc set, you know, like, even if you have a 30k, like, vigor, whatever, if you have, like, 5 heals, like everybody do now, like, fucking, like I said, the Templar with the sword and board and shit, like, if you fire a dot, like not a dot build, but cancer build, you'll die regardless. Like even if you have all of that, if you fight somebody with 5 rock set, you're fucked regardless. So like, to be honest, if the game was balanced, vigor is the only thing you really need. Like once they nerf proc set and they realize it's not a good idea to have them like to be such powerful, like yeah, uh, all you really need is vigor. So that's it. So now I'm gonna get into the downside of Bow&Bow, which is pretty much if you look, alright, if you compare, that's an instacast spammable. That's the bow instacast bread and butter spammable, right? If you take any other skill line spammable, whatever the fuck, that spammable, nobody likes it. They say it's fucking weak, right? And then you go to melee weapons instead of a bow, and then, you know, you look at the tooltip and went from like a 7k to like a 11k. So that's what you get for playing a bow. You lose like 3k worth of tooltip, and that's the DK spammable. If it was a surprise attack, that should be like, I don't know, like 13k or something. I think it busts itself once you actually use it, like 11k. Like that's 4k more damage than my acid spray. Like Dizzy, like if you compare Snipe to Dizzy, like bro, that shit is like, yeah. So that's the downside of running a bow. Like your weapon damage is simply like ass. If you do this, like let's say you buff up and you got like 5k weapon damage on this shit. Like if you put a bow on, this shit will drop to like, bro, it would drop by at least 500 weapon damage. It doesn't seem like a lot, but 500 weapon damage is quite a big deal. Like 4.5 instead of 4.9 or something like that. You lose so much damage from running a bow. It doesn't, yeah. So that's pretty much it. It's still fun though. Like your range, it's like, to be honest, the only reason I run Bow&Bow, and I'm probably gonna fault myself by saying that, is because of this. You saw that? Oh fuck, I missed it. That's a rare thing in ESO now. Being able to animation cancel abilities is something that doesn't exist. So yeah, that's the only reason why I like Bow&Bow. Like that one too. It's like Shock Clinch used to be, bro. Check that shit. Like that's the normal animation, and bro, you can't run that. If I really want to run this skill, because it doesn't get nerfed by shuffle and everything, because it's not AoE. That's another thing I haven't said. This loses like 25% of his damage, because it's AoE. So it's already 40%, 50% weaker than a normal Spammable, and then you lose like 25% of it if you fight shuffle. So like I want to run this, but you can't, just because of the only class that can really run Bow&Bow. I tested a lot of classes, and the only class that can do it effectively is DK because of that one passive. I don't even know where it's at. That one, the stamina, the bow abilities are pretty good at proccing it, and then that one, decrease the cost of your stamina poison ability. That's the only reason why Bow&Bow is viable. Like that passive itself. That's the thing about Magnum Shot. It doesn't, bro. I like Magnum. When I tested Bow&Bow on a stand blade, bro, that shit was fun. Like it was basically Shock Clinch all over. You would just spam Magnum Shot, and you would have a spammable CC that was doing like okay damage. Then you try Merciless people, but you had so little weapon damage that your Merciless wouldn't really do shit. But yeah, um, that Magnum Shot, bro, I wish it was poison damage. You can't run it because it doesn't get the reduced cost. You see, Snipe's pretty inexpensive, and that one are not that expensive. Like Snipe, because of the cast time, like you don't get to cast as many Snipe, and because it always drop poisonous, it gives you really good sustain. But yeah. Alright, so when it comes to other things, like passive wise, you want all your passives, you want the bow passives, you want your medium. I take the heavy passive, because like I said, I take heavy and upper wall. Um, yeah, get you undaunted. I'm a Redguard, I forgot to say that. So good. Like this race, I don't understand why people don't run it. It is so underrated. Like, especially reduce the cost of your weapon ability by 8%. It scales really well with the 25% reduced cost from the DK passive. I don't really like that I reduce the cost of my ballista though, cause like, I mean, yes, you get your ballista faster, but you get less resources. I mean, it doesn't really do much, but reduce the effectiveness of snare, pretty decent. The max dam, good. And then that, there's no such thing that gives you better sustain than this shit. This is pretty, bro. The 8% reduced cost plus that thing is like so much fucking recovery. Like, it's insane. Like, usually when you take a PvP build and you start hitting a dummy, bro, like, try it. Like, people don't think it's like that, but like, you're not gonna be able, like, people can sustain a duel for like 50 minutes, but nobody's capable of spamming it spammable just like that. Like, I can do that shit all day, bro. No potion. People doing that with the spammable, and a dummy would need to use their potion and need to do something. Like, bro, my stamina doesn't like, it just, that's the Redguard. And then, like, the thing too is, like, as soon as I'm out of stam, I have a fucking ballista, and then I got a fucking pod, so I can just do that forever. Like, yeah. That's pretty much what Redguard gives you. Infinite sustain. Really good upper wall. Like you can't really run out of anything. So that's pretty much it for skills and race and everything. So if we look at the stats, let's say real quick, fully buffed. That's pretty much how it's gonna look like. If you're fully buffed, you get 5.1k weapon damage. You got decent crit. Your armor's pretty low. Your crit resist, I did like having a lot because you're really easy to burst down. Max stamina is decently high. I put 15 into health. I like having 19.1k health out of duel. It puts you at like 27k in a duel, around there. It's really nice. And then the fucking try food, that one, with the tripods gets you over like 1k health recovery. Like I said, if you watch my tournament video, like the stamina recovery seems so low, but bro, that's the best sustain you can ever get on a build in my opinion. Cause like the cost of your abilities are pretty low, your spammable is really low, and then that passive, plus the DK passive when you pop your ult, plus the Redguard, like Redguard sustain is just insane. It's just unreal. So like, don't be scared of that stand recovery. It's a lot. Like, if you fought me, you know I can dodge roll like 20 times in a row, because that's how you survive on this build. There's no way. If you do one mistake, you take 1 DB. Like somebody's telling you with Downbreaker, you lost. Like, you need to play flawlessly. That's pretty much it. You need to not do any mistakes, and then you need to fucking sweat. Like animation, everything, get a good rotation, keep everything on the opponent, keep the pressure on the opponent for a long amount of time to be able to kill them. And yeah, it takes some time to kill the good players. You need to have like 100% uptime on your Noxious Breath, 100% uptime on your Acid Spray for the fucking penetration. You need to keep your Flame of Oblivion all the time, the Poison Inject, and then you need to find a way to hit some snipes without getting like two-shotted. Yeah, and then finding builds that have a lot of dots is hard because you don't have that much healing. So that's pretty much a challenge of this build. So yeah, that's pretty much it for the build. Hope you guys enjoyed. Test it out. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't spend too much. Just start by purple gear. If you gold out the build, might be disappointed. Like I said, if you're not able to survive with rally vigor, like if that's low healing, like to you, if you're not like capable to not playing a sword and board, if you're not capable to not running rally, if you're not capable of running like medium armor, don't expect to get on this build and to have fun. Like it took me, bro, when I first came up with the build and I didn't have the build figured out, bro, I was getting bodied left and right. Like it takes some time to getting used to not having any fucking healing. And then like it takes some time to find a build that actually works for you. Like Deadly works for me, but yeah, bro, when I first started doing this shit, like the healing was so weak that I couldn't play with it. So yeah, probably start by heavy Dragon Guard, and then if you'll see heavy Dragon Guard's damage not too great. It's good enough to kill the Zerglings. It's really good for upwall. And definitely run choking when you first start playing this shit, otherwise you're fucked. But yeah, that's it. Yeah, I forgot about CP, so let's get into it. Um, one Siphoner for Templars, 9, 40, 56, 43. It's pretty good with the choking and then the health recovery food. Then, yeah, that. Don't put too many into Buffet. I don't even put any. Snipe is not really that. It's 15% less heal. Putting point into that won't really change it. Like even if you put like 100 point, would put it to 20. Yeah, 5% more heal debuff is not worth. Like you're gonna die. Your build is gonna be so much weaker. You're gonna have less sustain if you do that. If you had the major one, if you run shifting and snipe, then it's worth because you're gonna get 60%. Because like the 30% is gonna go from 30 to 40, and then the 15 is gonna go from 15 to 20. But that's 8, so I mean, yeah, it's up to you. 7 blast, 39, 81, 40, 26, 49, 28. I might put a little bit more into here. Like, I don't know why it's like that. I think I went for the tactician passive, but it's not that useful on that build, to be honest. Fossilize a good enough CP. I might change that for more damage. Like, put more into Thermaturge. Depending on my setup, like, I'll have to see. Like, it's not all fixed in stone. That's for right now. The setup is good. But, like, yeah, I might change a couple stuff. 81, 66, 37, 43, 43, and that's it. That's for the CP. That's it, I'm out.